Good evening. Welcome to the show tonight. I wish I could have done this last night, but I sort of got called away for a hockey game, so I'm gonna have to split this between now and probably 3 weeks from now. So I apologize, but we're gonna be doing what's gonna be a two-part thing in 2008, going where I went up to Boston mainly to take advantage of some Red Sox tickets. This trip involved then heading to Albany, but that's not really part of the show here. That'll be covered either in another event or something else, or I didn't take any pictures. One of the two. In fact, I'm not seeing that I did take any. I have pictures from when I went up there, but I don't think I did any railfan stuff, which is somewhat surprising. But you know how that goes. I might look around. Maybe I do have some. Maybe I do have some photos from there. Either way, maybe I have some missing, lost media. But anyway, this is going to be covering the trip up on Amtrak, and then it's going to be a couple of then Mattapan Ashmont. So today is going to be the trip up, a little bit of Mattapan Ashmont. The rest of tomorrow is going to be more Matapan Ashmont, maybe a couple of Fenway Park photos. I'm cutting back on a lot of those to redo them. There's no real need. They're good enough. The ones I took, they're processed, they're fine. But a couple of sprinkle on in there would be nice. Anywho, let me see if anybody has any questions. I don't think I do. So we'll just start going here. So this is I forget when I have my last photo of F Tower, but this is still there today. I'm pretty sure this is the remains of F Tower, the foundation. They popped the top, probably getting ready for East Side Access. I mean that whole project took 20 years, and there was a lot of prep work. So things like demolishing F Tower, replacing signals, building satellite yards. A lot of that crap happened, started ruining things for the rest of us way back in the day. So today you can still you can still see this. Oh, it's on another tab. There we go. One of these will work. See, this is sort of dumpy. Yeah, that works. And do I need to clarify this at all? Yeah, that also works. Don't mind me just getting things started here. So again, a lot of stuff in the F interlocking and Herald were both kind of had legacy signaling from the PRR, but also a resignaling project in the 80s. Unfortunately, it all got whisked away for ESA. This is the 734W signal on the Long Island City track. These are all amber due to the sort of LIRR influence in the area, of course. So these were now the Hellgate line is where the last place on Amtrak you'll find all amber position lights. And the Harrisburg, of course. What the heck? Oh, there it goes. This 700 series part of the interlocking was going to be turned over as a separate LIRR interlocking. That's why they're numbered in the 700 series, but that never came to pass. A lot of this was also pneumatic, and again, one of the things that went away. This is the 737. This would be A or B. It's part of a crossover set. It's the more east, but you don't. If the signals are A and are W and E, you don't have that on the switches. It would likely be an A or a B kind of thing. I could just guess. There we go. I got the color right at least. Nicely painted right before its ultimate demise. The question is it A or B? I was actually just doing some pictures in this area, and I forgot what they would be. No, this doesn't tell me. Sorry. It's usually counterintuitive, so I'll go A. So these are nice. The LIRR, you can still find a few of these out by Jamaica on the main line. I forget which automatic signal number it is. These are compact mounted position lights. It's a standard PL3 type of unit, but they've been squished down on their little mounting rods. In this case, it's to get under a specific bridge. These pair here would be there's two of them. Oh, there they are. These are going to be the 846 and 846E, 848E. This is at Harold interlocking. Again, these are the Long Island City tracks. I'm pretty sure. No, this is LIC eastward number 2 and line 3. So line 3 is this is going to be the signal on the right. That's for the that's out of the line 3 tunnel. That's eastbound LIR thing, and that goes directly to mainline LIR mainline 2, and the other one is LIC eastward number 2, which if you keep following it straight will turn into Port Washington eastward 2. Today it's probably all different. They've added some. They just opened the Harold jump under. Oh, look at that! Look at that, cleaning up all that crap right there with the thing. Anyway, this is 846E. Today this would have a new thing, but an 848E. Oops, there we go. Here we have M7 number 7187. It is shocking how quick those M1s vanished. They felt new and modern, but they were delivered in 1968 because the design was used in the M3s. So by the time I was able to get in and start riding, they vanished, and all the rail fan window goodness, unfortunately. So, but man, that's like a 700 car order and they started going in 2002, and then by now they were gone. Like, that's crazy that Bombardier pumped out that many cars. I need to get full details on this, but when people complain about the FRA crash standards of the 90s that, hobbled things like the Acela and headaches, from what I've heard, that was Bombardier's doing. Those crash standards had been a voluntary AAR recommendation, but, railcar builders could, didn't have to prove it. Bombardier, with their LRC design and other designs, knew that they could be the only ones that could meet the standard if it was a reg, and they lobbied for it. And that basically won them both the Acela contract and the LIRR one, as almost by default. Here we have one of the signal bridges. So this is toward... Harold was notorious for having 3 main signal bridges. It had you'd have at least one intermediate. So there's 2. Harold is odd. It's like you have 2 4-track main lines, each with a whole bunch of with 2 crossover zones each. The westbound tracks, which are the northward set of main lines, had 3 signal bridges, and the south one would have 1, 2, 3, 4. I believe this is today these are all numbered. If you're going through Harold, every cantilever and signal bridge has a numbered placard. Signal bridge 22, signal bridge 15, signal bridge 7. You'll see as SB7, SB13, whatever it is. So you can now identify them way easier. Today I have to use descriptors on these. So anyway, this is the north side intermediate signal gantry eastbound. Or inner signal bridge. These, if you see, a lot of these have safe train because they were redone in the when the old Harold Tower was closed in the 80s. They redid it with position lights, but it was with safe train, or at least to the extent they did reuse a lot of hardware. What did I even say for this before? Oh, I skipped this one, I bet, or something like that. Did I? Okay, I might have skipped it. Oh, here we go. This brings back whatever. Up through the 2000s, the LIRR would have a protect job at Harold. I'm pretty sure. So they would have one or more MP or switchers. Probably crude. One of those very high pick jobs, I'm sure. That would, in case of a stalled train in the tunnel, you can see the adapters for the N-type couplers. It actually even has an N-type coupler mounted right on it. So this is the Harold Protect. This is like not even like, oh, serving as the Harold Protect. This is legit like the Harold Protect engine. Really cool, but I guess someone ran. I mean, I guess at some point someone actually ran the numbers and probably realized they were paying $500,000 or whatever a year to station people here 24/7. But it did have the there's your MU. Came with an MU coupler, and they retained this the gray and orange Long Island. Even has Dashing Dan on it. Really cool. What I'm going to actually do here, though, is I'm going to try to get a picture of that. I can just draw a square on the cab. We can get a better view of all that stuff there. There we go. I wonder what happened to old 102. Huh, someone's using my photo. Who the fuck is this? Oh, I'm sure I let him do it at some point. 1992? No. This is my... What the fuck? Alright, I gotta get on that. I just want to see what it's up to these days. There it is in 2010, 2017. Whatever. $2009. Whatever. Like I said, I don't have time to do all this right now. And here we have a different angle on it, of course. This looks like an SW like 101 or 1001. 1200 horsepower. There we go. That looks good. Sorry, just fiddling here. Oh. Okie doke. There it goes. So here we have this is the eastbound, the north side, westbound signal bridge, with for exit signals, one of them for gate interlocking, and then the other one for auto 22. So we get the diagram here. 22 is for mainline 1 westward. The 827E is just actually it's not for gate, it's an exit signal. 872E and the 22 auto. Oops. There we go. And here we have the other side of it. There we go. So here we are looking at Herald signal 804W and 872E. Nice. All right. Okay, moving on. Finally making some progress here. SS-26 Pike. New Haven Tower. I think there is a Pike, New York, because I should verify this. Oh, it's in New York State. That's right. We're not in Connecticut yet. New York. So Pike is in Rye. There's Pike. I thought that was a Rye tower. With a few demolitions, these New Haven towers have held up pretty well. This one, wow, it looks like it was electromechanical machine. So it would have had mechanical for, it would have been an E&M, probably GRS. Yeah, GRS electromechanical, So what it looked like, it's like a pistol grip machine with big levers for the switches. You could see, until recently, you could see one of these in the green tower because the window was there, and you could sort of see in. They're pretty wild things. Is this the same tower? Yeah. Just a better view of it. Oops. All right, that's the first of our things here today. We are going to be just doing 3 sets tonight, so it's going to be a little shorter. That lets me gab for a bit more. If anyone has any questions in the chat. Nope, just Brian. Yeah, the M3s still have them, but they're quite the catching one is quite rare these days, especially as they're going out of service. But it had been rare even with before they started getting replaced. What if I should get a oops. You'll see why I'm caring about this. Yeah, there. Oh, okay. I don't have another photo of it. I just want to see if I should get a milepost for it or not. Give me a second here. So this is a very special building. Oh, that's the wrong one. Oops. Okay, here we go. So in Port Chester, there was/is an especially low bridge. And this in an early thing, it was the 11'8" bridge of its day, and someone who was living in that building set up a real-time webcam for people to watch for bridge strikes. Right. That's how I do it. So it's right past catenary 248. All the New Haven line has catenaries that are numbered. 236 here at the Port Chester station. That's honestly an easier way of delineating things than trying to find out the milepost, as I've discovered at some point. So I now basically refer for most New Haven line stuff. I'm going to go by catenary, the catenary thing. So anyway, here we go. Port Chester is right where the New York State line is. There's Port Chester. It's that bridge right there. So the bridge at hand is this one right here for King Street. And I don't know how often it was, but wait, sorry, that's not it. It wasn't there. It's this building right here, the Lifesaver building. Literally, when I say Lifesavers, it was built by the Lifesavers, the Candy Corporation. And there's the infamous Port Chester Low Bridge. So if this is catenary 236, which would be something right there, it'd be 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, that's 46, 47. Wait, hold on. 236, 7, 8, 9, 40, 1, 2. So 240, catenary 242. This is where this would be. I'm just saving myself having to calculate a milepost, which I really, 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 really don't want to do. Anyway, so this guy had an apartment. This was of course a pretty long ago condo conversion, or apartment conversion, and he put a webcam up in this one of these windows. I think it was that one or that one, and it was the thing of it was just like the 11'8" bridge, and he you could log in and see if a truck had ran into the Metro North structure, and some people actually would catch it. It wasn't, again, this is early 2000s. It wasn't like Web 1.0 exactly, but it was close there. There's Port Chester. Okay, hold on, I don't need that. It's a 236, right? It's a 242. Yeah. See, this isn't the New York State line. That's a I marked that wrong. Yeah, that's there. Three, 9, 40, 41, 42. So sorry for the long story there. It's just it's an interesting thing that it seems that I don't know what they did to stop the constant bridge impacts, but I think they did something. If you want to see it, it's the 8'8" bridge. This is 11'8", so this is the one that this is going to have a lot less trucks hitting it, but it would still frequently have trucks hitting it, like all the time. But they weren't quite the smash ups that you would get in that one in North Carolina. The problem is in this sort of environment that the trucks would get routed on this. A lot of trucks were routed down on this thing because it's Route 1. All right, next. Here's green. You can see the windows are open. Go back to that Connecticut one. There. So it's pistol grip, but there's still levers to manually work the switches. Nah, it's too much. I gotta get the full thing there. Today I would be making this trip in an Acela and probably found a way to get upgraded to first class. But back in the day, Acela tickets were ridiculously expensive. It's hard to. I mean, it's Acela, it's premium, but like Amtrak's variable pricing policy has been incredibly helpful for me. For all the people who like to moan and complain about walk-up Amtrak ticket prices, they don't realize how much all Amtrak ticket prices were up through that time, and even fairly recently. I remember like in 2019 even, I would come home from Boston. I'd go up there with a friend every year, and we would always come back on the Acela, but we'd always make it, financially reasonable because we would get buy one get ones, and we would be buy one getting one at like $160. So it would be $80, $80 a person. Today, if you buy in advance on a weekend, because the 10% doesn't work on weekdays anymore, it's 88. Just buy it. Sorry, 88 for if you with a national NARP discount, 96 fully refundable, and so it's almost a 50% reduction. And that 160, you were lucky to get that. It would be easy. No, you weren't lucky, but it could go up a lot higher. But you would have to still try to get that. I need my Metro North diagram for once. Ugh. CP 272, 261. Here it is. Come on, they give me the signal somewhere in here. Oh, it's gonna be 5 tracks. That's gonna be the 5W signal there. Here. So this is SS. SS71 Devon 5E signal. I always love this. This is I always get pictures of the Electric Boat Corporation in Groton. Nothing really out. Sometimes you can go by and see submarines out. My friend who works in engineering actually got a tour there, which was pretty cool. So Electric Boat is a division now of General Dynamics, which was effectively a merger of Consolidated Aircraft or Convair and Electric Boat. They I forget what else went into General Dynamics. I think that it's still General Dynamics. Peak. That kind of name. So this is when Amtrak was in the middle of putting up the replacement draw span on the Connecticut River Bridge, the Thames River Bridge. Fantastic. Listen, this is the one I give them a lot of credit for. They didn't go in to try to do a bridge replacement that it would cost $1 billion. I think they got this in for 130 something. It was either like 69 million or like 131, somewhere in there in that range. And they didn't have. It was only. I think they had to shut things down to get the old span or the span replacement done for maybe like 4 days. They did over a long weekend. They ran like an inland route train. It was like pretty. They did their best to accommodate people. But it's still like this is what they should be doing at like the Con Bridge, not a brand new bridge for $1 billion. I'm sure it's like, well, we got the funding for it. It's all about the jobs. I mean, okay, great, but how many things can't you do now because you don't have that money to spend elsewhere? The sheaves are covered these days, but you can see them there. SS 131 or 1 something or other. 119 Groton. This has been looking in increasingly sad state lately. Windows are kind of getting broken. That's unfortunate. There was a time when I think these were under threat of demolition, but Amtrak realized that how full of asbestos they were, so they backed off. But now now they're starting to deteriorate, which is worrisome. But again, the general lack of funding going forward is going to hopefully make it too expensive to do anything demolition wise. Today I take these pictures with my phone with better quality. This is not lawn. This is Boston switch. One of those things that I would get wrong from time to time. We're skipping ahead to Providence. So lawn tower. I got a list of all this stuff somewhere. It was a little hard to match. Lawn is this one here. It's somewhere in there. There it is. There. That's lawn. And Boston switch is the one at that junction. So I think it's one of those things where like there was a railroad that went to that, that I think the original line came down and then crossed, and they built this new line through Pawtucket, or they made it's almost like they did like a Magruder branch kind of thing. Anyway, Boston switch is right there. Last time I saw it a couple days ago. It is really getting overgrown. SS 168 Boston 156 Boston switch. There it is. There's lawn. A model. Oh, model board. New Haven did not like pneumatics. They generally went with all electric machines. That cleaned it right up. Yeah, this one was not looking good back then. It's looking less good today. All right, now we've really jumped ahead all the way to Ashmont. If you remember in previous shows, there was a little interlocking tower here, but with when they redid the trolley loop at Ashmont, they took out some of that older New Haven Railroad stuff. The Red Line Ashmont branch, like the D line, was an early New Haven Railroad little commuter branch. There it is. So it still had the New Haven Railroad little tower, but the station was a weird like half ground level thing. The trains dumped you outside of fare control. So when they put this loop in, it killed the old tower was there. They had to move things around. Anyway, I've recently learned that Boston, the MBTA numbers its interlockings for transit, but that's not helpful. Knowing this is interlocking 14 isn't super helpful. So I'm just going to call Ashmont. I wonder if you can ever get a yellow over red. Oh, I wonder. Oh, I had something to mention to people, but I forgot what it was. Oh, poop. Anyway, yeah, Ocellos used to be expensive. Really, really, really like the cheap. I mean, yeah, I think I was like I once got a like a New Haven to Boston at some weird time, and the cheapest I could get was like would have been $150 today from just Boston to New Haven. It's just ridiculously expensive. Anywho, I meant to I know I had some other anecdote lined up, but I can't seem to remember it right now. It's like no one's done a chart on it. Oh well. I just wonder. Like, I don't know if they have like red over yellow or yellow over red type of thing. So, man, like the switch is straight, but I don't know if this is like a restricting. Sorry, just trying to find if anyone's done a red line signal thing. They're doing an upgrade, so all the stupid ass. This is some non-Google thing. It's so basic, no one's covered it, which is really, 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 really irritating. The AI thing is garbage. Just put Boston red line. I was literally staying with a guy who's working on Boston Railroad signaling upgrade stuff, and I didn't ask him if he was ever. Anyway. And what did I put back in the day? So here we have an 01800 train. 08, so remember Boston, the O counts. So this is an 018 number 01813. These are the Bombardier cars they got in the 1990s. They kind of look like those MR90s that they were using on the Two Mountains line in Montreal. The platform still goes down there, but it looks like they're about to close it out. And yeah, today the platform does stop quite a bit sooner than this. And if that was my train, though, no, yeah, we would have kept going straight. Oh, there we go. Well, there's your diverging move. Maybe that is a diverging cab diverging. You know, I think I have photos on my phone from earlier this year, like literally from like last week, where I was in Boston. Maybe I got like some red line stuff that would shed some light on this mystery. Yes. Wait, hold on. That is a diverging. That is a diverging. A cab proceed diverging. So here we have 01721, the rusty roof. Most of these are still in service. These are built in the late 88, 89 by UTDC, which was the Thunder Bay plant, which was again originally like a sort of a pressed steel or Canadian can car. I think it was Canadian Car and Foundry. Then it got state nationalized as the Urban Transportation Development Corporation, and then it got turned over to Bombardier. UTDC bought a bunch of Pullman patents at some point. So the original orders of redline cars that look very British for some reason were built by Pullman Standard in 1970. They got a bunch of good orders in the 70s, right around there, like the Superliners too, but were ultimately killed by the R44 order being disastrously broken. R46, sorry. So I need to crop this one to get the chain links out of the way. My newer cameras, I can zoom through most chain links, even the small ones like the size of a dime. I can zoom so far that it just makes the chain links disappear, even though the camera lens is pressed right up to them. All right, that's our second round. Good news, we only have one more round to go. Lots of interesting stuff on this trip here. I need to go to, where am I going? That's where I'm stopping. 037. That it? How many am we doing next time then? 35. All right. Well, that's That's where I'm stopping today. All right, we got a short round here. I just want to get to Mattapan, and then tomorrow we can start at Mattapan, and head back and end up at Fenway Park. All right, what do we got? No questions? I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. Okay, to this day, the trolley loop is still there. It's quite squealy. I have a video on this very YouTube that shows some of the squeal. They put in a bunch of greasers, and I think they got the squeal down. Also, it's interesting to see that that transit-oriented development actually goes back to the construction of this. Mattapan especially has had issues with being a rough neighborhood, but fortunately Boston has been able to gentrify the heck out of all these areas. So that that sort of old gritty Dorchester, Mattapan. Like when I went there in 2002 or 5, one of the two. I was out there to get some pictures, and some guy was like, "Do you want to buy some drugs?" I'm like, "No, I'm here to take railroad pictures," and I got to be sneaky about it because the MBTA gets mad at you. I don't know if the MBTA was. I think the MBTA. People don't realize the photo wars, especially post 9/11. But even before 9/11, there was a lot of issues with taking pictures on subways because in the film era, we needed flashes and tripods. New York City subway, it was legal, but you get a lot of harassment. There was court cases about it. Their MBTA was prohibited. That was the one thing where it was prohibited without a permit, and they would never give you a permit. Even one guy who went through the process to get a permit because he lived there, and it was disastrously hard. But if you would just, you could do the whole thing of go in and just do it until someone yelled or the cops showed up. Today they don't even really collect fares on the Mattapan Ashmont. It's one of those. So the vast majority of people using the Mattapan Ashmont are making a connection. So because the Matapan Ashmont is such, so I don't need to say what. Okay, I hate when I have this stuff. This is number 3238, so I can actually I know what number this is. Anyway, it's sort of it's one of those official winks and nods 3238 farebox where the MBTA acknowledges that at least, I love PCCs, but they're kind of acknowledging that, yeah, we've shortchanged this neighborhood with bad connectivity, so we won't really try to collect fares on this sort of red line extension because we know 95% of people are going to connect to the red line. Although, I mean, there's fare evasion there too, but the place where you're really expected to pay is the red line and not the Mattapan Ashmont. I tagged in there. I think, or maybe not. Again, they let people, they just do all door boarding. It's sort of just no big deal. Wow, payphones. I'll just get one of them. This is 3268. They did have a crash recently, and one of them is toast. I wonder which one that was. I can go check out that in a second. I hit Wikipedia here somewhere. Here we go. 3268 is active in service. I am in 3238. Currently being rebuilt. 3262 is the one that's been wrecked beyond repair. It is nice, these zoom shots of, you know, the gracefully sort of like draped trolley wire. This is at Central Ave station. The plan is, I believe, to move Type 9s onto this. There has been the issue that has been forcing the PCCs has been a specific bridge. Oh, there's my problem. But apparently either the Type 9s are going to be fine with it, or they're going to fix the bridge. But I don't know what the timeline on that is. The new Type 10 trolleys are mega long, and the reason they're doing that is because by the collective bargaining agreement, they have to have an operator in each of the sub-components if you have a two-car LRV. So if they make one mega LRV, they can only have one operator. And they're going to go with a proof of payment type system. Although I don't know how that's going to work because it connects with fare gates. Maybe they have to fare gate it downtown. I mean, they built all these stations with single point access, so put in the damn fare gates. Like, at that point, fine. Because they have these stations where they have like an extra exit, and that you can't use it because it's for emergencies only. I'm like, you're making people walk like 2 blocks out of the way to get to the actual proper exit. This is a Valley Road. 3087. Let's see how they're up to. 3087. Active. There you go. I think they really only need like 2 or 3 of these for service. Here we are pulling into the Mattapan terminal. Oh, wait. Did I not do this one? Guess not. I feel like service used to be a lot better back then, because now they just have like 2 of these things going back and forth. Although it might be better matched to, you know, with post-COVID transit declines. 3260. Rear end rebuilt. Oh, this was the target of the collision. 3260. I suspect their normal load is 2 streetcars, and in the rush they have like 3. 3260. You got 1 after this. I don't know what I put for these. I gotta go to one of my go-tos here. Okay, I just said Mattapan Station. All right, that works. Man, they looked really nice back in 2008, and they're definitely, that's the one that got destroyed. Oh man, they're starting to not look great. 3268, that's the one I was in. I mean, you're gonna see you'll see a picture of, I think that's what I'm in right now. Oh, 3238. But man, they looked fine back then, and now they just look, so many of them just look awful. Ugh. That one looks better. Cool. All right, that's it for today. Thank you all for attending. Let's see if we have any questions. Again, about 3 weeks, I'll be back. We can finish this one up. Yeah, they're gonna have to swap out the line, the overhead. I'm sure. We'll see what happens, with all the funding stuff here. No, they are rebuilding some of them. So if you you look on that the Wikipedia page for the line. 3265 has been rebuilt. 3234 has been rebuilt. 3238 is currently being rebuilt. 3254 is currently being rebuilt, and 3260 has been. It looks like 3268 is having, that's the one that's deteriorating. That just needs to be rebuilt. 3087. See, that looks nice, but you can tell it's got a jillion dents on it. Yeah, unlike the a lot of the PCC 2s in Philly, which are basically Brookville modern LRV type streetcar with a PCC body shell. These are the real deal, just like Cent Muni. Okay, I'm gonna go. Thank you all for attending. Sorry about the gap. I really wanted to do these both days, but I just wasn't able to come up last night. We can have a great time, and we'll talk about it. We'll see you next time. All right, later, byes.